Hello everybody, welcome to another video. We're going to start this one off with me talking about a little bit of philosophy about driving in and around London. And philosophy actually means love of wisdom. Yes, that is me in a nutshell, isn't it? Love of wisdom. Yep, philosophy. Here's my little bit of philosophy for the day. Why put that there to make traffic? Why? What is the fucking point of making traffic? Now, whenever I put a clip on with roads like this, I always get, how the hell can you drive down a road like this? They are normally from people that are not from this country though, that don't have roads like this. Obviously this is a two-way road and everyone's just got to play ball. There is just about enough room to get two cars side by side, but everybody's got to play ball and go as close as they can to the left. It's pretty simple, and be very careful when going around the bend like this. Stay as far left as you possibly can without actually driving into the bush. Them two done it all right, but not this idiot. And that's where it can all go very wrong very quickly with an idiot like that who hasn't got a clue the size of his car. So we're going to stick on country roads for a little while just to show you how to drive them really. As you can see, there's only room for one car down this road, and believe it or not, this is only about 35 miles ish from central London. You wouldn't believe it, would you? Don't worry, we will get back to the normal trollop in a minute. As you can see, there's only one lane. So what you got to look out for is gaps like this. Always look out for them gaps because you may be having to reverse into one. If something's coming the other way, you just might have to do that. Now, believe it or not, I'm taking someone from Epsom out to here for a wedding. Not in someone's house. They are actually in a hall. There's a hall down here where they're having a wedding reception. How they expect people to get to it, I do not know. So I'm out in the middle of nowhere, but look what I see coming towards me. Yep, a private hire driver with the yellow circle of death coming towards me. Didn't do anything wrong, and I know that I've got the yellow circle of death in my car too, but on a country road like this, two yellow circle of death coming towards each other isn't a good thing, is it really? That could end in tears, but it was okay. Yeah, so as I say, driving down these beautiful roads with these lovely houses down, you just got to take it nice and easy. And a lot of people say, use the horn every time you go round the bend and all that sort of stuff. Now, believe it or not, I do know a few farmers. Yeah, I know. Seriously, I do know a few farmers, and they say using the horn upsets the animals that are in the fields. And as you can see that sign there, 6'6", it looks like the roads are going to get even smaller around here. But yeah, so I just tend to drive nice and slowly round the bends. If someone's coming towards me like a bat out of hell, that's their problem. So we'll show you what you got to do when someone's coming towards you, like now. I've just gone past a wide bit there, but I know I can get through that gap in front of me. I know if that car's over far enough to the left like it is, I can get through that gap. Now coming up, I'm not going to be able to get through that gap without that car reversing. These two Orbs on the left hand side could actually move their bikes. They might own that field, but they do not own the road. Now the Audi's moved over and moved back a little bit, and I know I can get through that gap, although I do have to go over the muddy verge a little bit to get past the Audi. Now I wouldn't have had to do any of that if them guys on the bikes wasn't in the way. And that's the trouble you get from some of the locals. And I do get it sometimes, like these ones coming up, houses wise, but not fields. They must be sick to death of people using their driveway bits to get out of the way of each other, so they park their cars on there to stop people doing it. I'm pretty sure that's done deliberately, in the same way as these spikes are put in the grass here to stop people going up the grass and getting past each other. And why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you do that? Who wants a great big load of mud outside their house with tyre tracks all in it? So again, we come to another turning on the left here, but a guy is actually parked there. Now, I don't see these vans coming towards me until quite late, and they want to turn into that turning. I can just reverse back, but this guy coming towards me just hasn't given me the time to reverse. He just carries on coming straight towards me. If he'd have signalled, go back, I would have gone back and they would have had an easier turn round to the right, but then they didn't, so I didn't. They could have also moved into that space just up there to the right hand side and let me go. But it was a difficult view for both of us. We didn't see each other till late. The one that's caused it is obviously the car that's parked in the driveway. It would have been so easy for me to just reverse straight back there and give them such a nice easy right turn here. But like I say, they just carried on going straight towards me and didn't signal that's what they wanted me to do. I would have done it, not a problem. But the one thing that did get in the way was the car parked in the driveway again. Because I would have been there and given them a lot more space to turn round. The bottom line is though, there was no problem. We just had to do our driving a little bit slower then than what we would have done. Now, this is the perfect way of doing it. These two guys here, perfect. Now, they've come round the bend nice and slowly and they've seen me and they can see I've got nowhere to go. The gap widens at that bend, which they are going to use. They're both up on the grass verge there. They've both got the correct vehicles for the terrain. They both got 4x4s, and that is what you need a 4x4 for, not to drop your kids off at school in Fulham. It does make a nice change actually to see a 4x4 used correctly, because obviously I see loads of them out on these posh roads in central London and they haven't got a clue how to drive them. They are all over the place. If they were driving down the road like this, they would expect me to go off-road while they sat in the middle of the road. So a little bit further down the road, we're coming to the farmhouses and all that sort of stuff, and you'll see some vehicles over to the right hand side. Yeah, them vehicles have got to drive down this road, and vehicles bigger than that as well, because how else are the crops going to get out of these farms and the cattle going to get out of these farms? They get put on these great big HGVs that drive down roads like this. You've seen what it's like behind me. Now you're obviously going to see what it's like in front of me. They're not big. There are a couple of YouTube channels that actually follow HGV drivers going to the farms and stuff like that, and they're all down these ridiculously tight roads. It's very skillful driving, I must say, and you've got to be a bit lucky as well with the gaps. If someone's coming towards you, you've got to be a bit lucky. Now we get to this little fork in the road here. I'm not on any sat nav, by the way. I'm winging this. I've just looked at the big map at the beginning and thought, right, it's in that direction. So I haven't got a clue where I'm going, basically. I'm just sort of, right, I need to get out of the area and get on a proper road. Yeah, so this is all a little bit of a guesswork bit for me, which I really shouldn't be on roads like this. I really should have put the sat nav on and just followed it properly. But here we go with another one. I don't know if there's anything now, as you can hear, I'm reversing, but she's reversing as well, so I go forward. Now she wants me to get into that little gap there. And in that gap there is a little ridge which I don't particularly want to go in because I'm not so sure that I can bloody get out of it. Also there's a bit of wood there, that branch that's sticking up in the air. I don't particularly want to drive over that neither. So I've got to go round that and then drive up towards her. Now she has got quite a bit of space on her side now. I don't know why she put her mirrors in, because there's no way that she's going to come anywhere near touching my mirrors. We're at different heights. She gestures at me there to actually move forward, but I can't move forward unless I move forward turning right a little bit. You can hear the sensors going off crazy. I mean, it wasn't the best, but it definitely wasn't one of the worst that I've been in. Now, the only trouble is with something like that, you don't want anyone behind you or behind them. Then it becomes really difficult. Luckily enough, all the way down this country lane, that hasn't happened, other than the 4x4s who knew exactly what to do. So we're not quite finished yet. I've still got quite a way to go before I get onto what I would call a proper road. Yes, but on a road like this, believe it or not, I still managed to find you a petrol head moment. Yes, down a road like this, just coming up on the right hand side here. There it is. Again, I haven't got a clue what it is, you'll have to tell me. And I'm waiting here for this car, and I don't know why this guy gives me a funny look. I really don't. It was odd. But up there in front, you'll see a brake light go on. Now, I know that that brake light is on because there's possibly something coming the other way. So I'm just going to wait here, even though I can't see anything. And I was right. There was another car coming the other way. So I'm going to wait for him to get past me. Sometimes you got to just think a little bit outside the box sometimes, you know. So we can carry on now. So moving on. Again, as I cough my guts up there, again it changes. This road changes so much now. It's gone really dark because that's not a bush around us. The trees are overhanging. That's earth. And I've got one more person to get past before it's gone so dark. Look, you can see my headlights have come on. My automatic headlights have come on because it's so dark in there now. And this guy's over as far as he can go, but there is a bit of a not a nice patch to drive on there, so I have to be slow and careful because I've got a front wheel drive and it's a bit slippy in the mud and the rain, the old electric car, you know, because there is no weight at the front of my car. There's a motor in there rather than an engine, and it can be a little bit slippy at the front. All the weight is actually in the middle of the car where the battery is. So now you can put away your straw hat, your dungarees, your chewing tobacco and your spit bucket, and maybe even your banjo, because that's it for today's lesson on country roads. So we're in Reigate. I would like to say we're in London, but we're still in Surrey like the last clip. And here we go. We come up to this road here. The left goes left, the right goes right. In, out, no, enough of that. But can you spot the queue jumper? It's not hard to see. Yep, straight over the hatch markings. Too important to wait like the rest of them. Now it is turning right there, but does that make any difference? Not to me. I've seen buses actually go down there and turn right about 150 yards down the road. It's wrong. Now in this clip, this is not like a country road from the last few clips. This is one way as well until we get past these signs up here. But we're looking at that car there. And you can see that I am on a 40 mile an hour speed limit road. Should that car pull out? No. The only thing I'll give this car in its defence is that the sun is in his eyes. But what's stopping him seeing the cars coming from the left? He's left. Now what it doesn't show properly on camera here is I can see that car is dripping. It's absolutely pouring with self-entitlement. They've used that new wax out on the market, which I had to lie my arse off to get a little tub of it just to show you this new wax, this self-entitlement wax that they are using now. I had to say, yeah, I'm ashamed to say it, I had to say that I owned an Audi to get this wax. So here it is, and it cost me a tenner. And it's self-entitlement car wax, suitable for Audis, Mercedes and Range Rovers. Apply once and it will turn you into a dickhead until you sell the car. Now, as ever, these people do not read the instructions, they do not follow the rules, and I'm pretty sure that this car has got multiple layers of car wax on this car because you only have to apply once to become a dickhead, and I think that this guy's got a few layers on that car. I will put links in the description down below so you can buy some of this. Just I knew I wouldn't be able to finish it without laughing. Anyway, let's get back to the clip. So here we are. I'm not exactly doing 40 miles an hour, but I'm going fast enough to actually have to slow down for this self-entitlement knobhead. And so does the cars coming towards him because he's more important than all of us. I had to slow down, and if we go to the rear camera in a second, you'll see that everybody else had to slow down so he can park on the wrong side of the road, i.e. facing traffic and get in everyone's way still. Good job, mate. Keep applying that wax, you knobhead. Now in this clip I'm going to Terminal 2, Heathrow Terminal 2 that is, and as I've said in previous videos, airports can be a little bit confusing, so you've got to give people a little bit of room, a little bit of space, because some of the road markings and signage isn't great, and if it's the first time you've been there you can get confused. Now we're looking at road signs here already that the left goes left and the right goes right. I'm not going to start singing a song again. Now these two vans to the left hand side there, they don't want to be turning left, and yet every sign down this poxy road is telling them that the lane they're in turns left. And then when we get a little bit closer to them, just have a little read of what it says on the side of their vans as we pass yet another sign that says the left hand lane goes left. Now if you work in this area or you work for the airport, there is no reason for you to be in the wrong lanes in these sort of situations, but both of these vans are in the wrong lane. Now when we get a little bit closer to it, you'll be able to see what it says on the side of their vans. Yeah, you couldn't make it up, could you? See that? Airside driver training. We're also looking at that car there who's also in the wrong lane, but at least he's trying to get in the correct lane, which is where they should be. Now I know that says airside, but who's going to train them fuckers to be outside of airspace, eh? So you can see that they should be going down there with that bus. You can see on the floor as well, or on the ground, that they should be going left there. But no, that lane that they're about to go into now is mine. They should be turning left. That's my lane. But he crosses me straight over and forces me out into the other lane. Now, I've got a black cab behind me now who's seen this and takes full advantage of it and shoots up the inside of me, which is also really shitty driving from him. He saw what was going on there and he actually took advantage of it by undertaking me. But now we're looking at that car that was in the wrong lane earlier on. Now, as I said, you do have to make allowances for people round here, but not them two vans and not that black cab. They were all taking the piss there. They should all know where they're going and what lanes to get into and not to undertake. That's basic driving and knowledge of your area where you work. Now that car up there in front is always in the wrong lane here. I don't know why he's in the middle lane. It's odd why he's there, but eventually he sorts it out. So that's twice he's been in the wrong lane. Now we want to stay left. We both want to stay left because we're going to the terminals, and he always seems to be looking to try and overtake the bus. You want to turn left. Why are you trying to overtake? Now he's in the middle of two lanes. Now how many passes does this guy get? I'm fed up with him already now. I think you're taking the piss. You're just a shit driver. Where's he going now? I mean, he's attempting to go over the solid white lines there. Maybe he doesn't want to go to the airport at all. Now, the signage up here is wrong. Terminal 3 to the left, Terminal 2 to the right. It's wrong. You can stay in either lane to be in Terminal 2's correct lane. So that is wrong. So maybe this next part of what he does here, you can put down to bad signage, because as I say, you can get to Terminal 2 from this lane that I'm in now. You don't have to be in the outside lane. So I am speeding this up by 5 times, believe it or not. That's how long you have to wait at the traffic lights here. And I can see him moving around. See his head there moving back and forth and everything else. I think he's getting a little bit agitated that there's so many cars going past him in the right hand lane. And he's just sitting there behind a coach. Some people get like that. But now he wants to get over to the right hand side because he wants to go to Terminal 2. That's what the sign said. You've got to be over to the right hand lane to go to Terminal 2. So obviously he's going to get into a silly little gap there, make the car next to me now slow up while he gets into the lane. A lane that he doesn't have to be in. But in his defence, he must get a pass for that one. For me, he gets a little bit of a pass there because of bad signage. So we're going under the underpass here, and I have a real phobia coming up here, and it's not good. when we go to the rear camera now, it's not good. That there is an Audi and it's a professional driver. The combination doesn't get any more scarier than going under an underpass where you can't get out of the way of these fuckers, and oh, it's so scary. That is a scary combination. Now, to be fair to him, he doesn't do anything wrong. It's just that when you see that in your rear view mirror, you start to shit yourself. I mean, it's bad enough to actually look in your rear view mirror and see an Audi behind you in a place like this, or look in your rear view mirror and see a professional driver behind you, but seeing them both in the same vehicle, I might as well have this bird behind me. In hindsight, that was quite a dangerous thing to do with my aging audience. I've probably lost a few subscribers. They haven't unsubscribed, they've just killed over. So we're coming to the end of the tunnel now, and we can see the light. We can see the light. That's in a horror film as well, isn't it? Go to the light, isn't it? Yeah. So there he is in his correct lane. See that little move there he tried to get over to the other lane? Look, he's did it again and again, and he's going to go for it. No, he's not. So I think he's run out of free passes, this guy now. Now I'm just thinking you're a fucking idiot. So remember that signage at the front of the tunnel. Terminal 2, I haven't changed lanes. I'm still in exactly the same lane as I was to start off with, and you can get to Terminal 2 from this lane. You do not have to be in the outside lane, as I said at the beginning of the tunnel there. So, poor show, Mr. Heathrow. So the reason the guy behind us changed his mind yet again is because he wanted to be at the front. Yes, he doesn't want to be behind cars. He hasn't got a clue where he's going, but he's got to be in front. The only question I have to him is, why are you not driving a German car? You've made enough mistakes to be driving a German car, and yet you're in a Toyota. Alright, he can be a tit in a Toyota, I guess. But we still haven't finished with him yet. Now, the speed limit round here is 20 miles an hour. As soon as you get past that tunnel, it's 20 miles an hour. And obviously, he's going faster than that. And he's already up on the flyover there. You'll see our speed in a minute that flashes up on that screen there. And we were both going a little bit too fast, me and the guy in front. We reduce it because look, there's a camera right there to the left hand side.
It's not my fault, boss. Boss, the plane.
Now you'll remember the little guy who used to say that, but what was the name of the television program that he was in saying that? Can you remember? Answers in the comments section down below. Now, we still haven't finished with this guy, because where am I going to? I'm going to the drop-off zone, yeah? We are dropping off. Did you notice anyone in his car? No. Who's he dropping off? Yeah, so he's even gone to the wrong place, or he's picking up an idiot like himself who doesn't know what arrivals and departures mean. You couldn't make it up, could you? Now, I'm pretty sure that's him over to the right-hand side. So he's parked as far away as possible to the terminal as well. So some pretty poor driving there. He may have got some points and a fine on his licence for speeding, and if he doesn't pay his £5 drop-off fee, he'll have another fine as well. So good luck, mate.
Boss, the plane.
A very immature episode this one, isn't it? I've got to say, I don't know what I'm doing with these buttons. So we'll lighten the mood up a little bit now with a little bit of music. And we're looking at this car here. A bit odd. Why it has to go over the solid lines here. Has to get out. Can't stay in this lane. Even though, you will never believe it, it wants the next exit. And here you can see the sign, how far it's got to go. Needs to go out even more. And we'll just follow and watch this guy, shall we? See how late he is getting over to the exit. Now the slip road has just started, and instead of going left, he goes right. He's moved back over one, but he's still got to go 2 more lanes. So remember, he went over the solid lines to get onto the M25 here. And he's going over the solid lines to get off of the M25. Good bit of driving that one, eh? So a little bit further down the good old M25, we are looking at these 2 impatient people behind me. We have got the coach driver and we got the van as we're looking at it to the left hand side there. The van, believe it or not, wants the slip road. The coach driver just wants to get past the van. Now the van has to do something about getting over to the slip road. So it gets in behind me after it's being flashed by the coach there, and then just hits his brakes. Look how slowly it's gone. Now I'm not speeding up away from it, that's him hitting his brakes on the M25 because you've made a cock of yourself and got in the wrong lane. Now it speeds up and goes past that truck to get onto the slip road and then starts putting his foot down again. Just forward planning, terrible forward planning. Just look further than the end of your bonnet and look at the road signs. It's really not that difficult. So a little bit further down the good old M25, the impatient coach driver goes past me. Now the road has been reduced to 50 miles an hour. The coach isn't doing 50 miles an hour, believe it or not, because it's overtaken me and I'm doing 50 miles an hour. It's actually been slowed down by cars in front of it that's actually doing the speed limit, which really annoys him, I think. So it's going to do a bit of a dodgy one. It's going to go down the inside lane, which becomes a slip road. Whether he wants a slip road, I do not know because I lose track of it. But this is why you shouldn't undertake. Ever heard the saying, 2 wrongs don't make a right? But 2 wrong uns can make an accident. As I say, I lose track of him. He may have wanted the slip road after all, but who knows. So we're still on the M25 at the A3 turn off now, and you know what's going to happen. But what vehicle is going to do it? What vehicle couldn't wait in the queue like everybody else? Yes, that one there, the red one there, over the solid white lines as well. I don't know why they haven't got cameras on these junctions. They would make an absolute fortune and be saving people's lives probably, because that guy's going to end up killing someone. So in this clip we are heading towards a roundabout. There's markings on the road telling you which lane you should be in. There's also signposts. The markings on the road are a little bit worn, but you can still make them out quite easily. Unfortunately, this gadget on wheels next to me, the Tesla as we know it to be, isn't looking at any of the road markings. As you can see, there's a big one there. The lane that he's in goes to Gatwick, Reigate, Esher or Oxshott. The lane that I'm in goes to London, Kingston, Hook or Chesington. It's quite simple. There's the A244 that he's in and the A243 that I'm in. It doesn't get any more simpler than that, does it? Well, it does if you've got a gadget on wheels and you're not looking at the signs. So basically, he needs to be taking exit 1 or 2. There's exit 1, he's just driven past. And we're coming up to exit number 2. But before we get there, I want you to remember where that lorry is, that blue lorry in front of us, because I will be coming out of that exit in the next clip to show you someone else in the wrong lane. So there is his turn off. That's the last one he should be taking. So he's in the wrong lane all the way round the roundabout there. Not very good driving. So this is me coming up the slip road to that roundabout where that blue lorry was. And we will see someone that does it the way the Tesla did it and the way you should do it. Now first of all, I'm going to slow it down here so you can see. This car here, the one I'm going to highlight now, does it correctly. He's in the lane that the Tesla was in and he takes that turn into the left hand side the way you're supposed to. This next car, this toy car here, he's going to do exactly the same and go off to that first exit to our left hand side there. But you'll be surprised to see who isn't in a second. So we're just going to run this forward a little bit. I'm still in slow motion just so you can see who goes in the wrong lane. So if there is a car here, this red one, which just happens to be a learner, and there's a car on its inside, so the learner should be taking this exit, but it doesn't. It carries on going straight. So you can see what's happening, can't you? If they're being taught incorrectly, they're going to be doing it incorrectly. So I'm waiting at these traffic lights for this clip, and I'm in a straight on right turn only lane. I don't know what the hell that guy in front of me is doing, indicating to turn left. The lane to my left hand side is a left turn or a straight on lane, and he's indicating left. This could get interesting. So what do you think is going to happen here then? Any ideas? Any guesses? Is he turning left? Has he just left his indicator on? To be honest, my guess was that he just left his indicator on and hasn't switched it off to the right side. I was wrong. He doesn't try to turn left, mind you. If you look at his car, you'll see his right indicator is on, but his left one is going on the trailer. So he's obviously connected the cables round the wrong way. Now that could be really interesting further down the road, couldn't it, that one? So a little bit further down the road, he is in front of the car in front of me, and he wants to turn left. He's indicating left in his car, but his trailer is turning right. Well done, mate. So thanks a lot for watching, guys. A big shout out to today's sponsor, who's Self-Entitlement Car Wax. You can get it at numpty.com. Anyway, guys, thanks a lot for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one. Bye for now.